We're finishing the short film project, which is super exciting.
The chaps have just left for their shoot of the day. Oh my God, the camera nearly fell over.
It was a war with the alarm this morning. Welcome back to another week in my life, in my business. This week, we're getting back on top of everything. We're finishing the short film project, which is super exciting. We managed to get a slight increase in the deadline, or a slight extension to the deadline of that project, which has helped us because we were really up against the wire on getting it done. We would have got it done, to be honest. Like where it is now, it's ready to go. But if we could have had an extra day or two just to, get it to the standard where we were like 100% happy, that would have been amazing. And that's what we've been given. So thank the Lord for that. So today, Max is going to be finishing that off. And then we're going to be finishing off the social versions of that project as well. And in other news, I actually took this weekend. This is the first weekend that I can remember of this year where I've prioritized myself over work. I did do some work, nothing crazy. I didn't come to the office and I just did the things that were necessary. And that's mostly just kind of booking the week ahead and scheduling socials and, general my responsibilities, just doing those. But I took time out. I played video games. I went to the gym. And I enjoyed the sun. I mean, it doesn't look very sunny right now, and it probably isn't this week, but the last week has been absolutely stunning, and the weekend was bloody awesome. It just felt like a really kind of summery, but probably more spring, and it was lovely. I feel good. I feel much better. The last few weeks have been heavy. The last couple of months have been unbelievably heavy, and yeah, I was definitely feeling that, and I feel a lot better after going and just taking that headspace. I think it's important to do that. Big advocate for it, but I just haven't been doing that recently, which is not good. I recommend it. Get yourself out there, go for a run, go to the gym, take some time to breathe. It's good for you. This week, a big focus for me is finally getting on top of our marketing. I mentioned in, I think it was last week's episode, about how Hannah is now on maternity leave, which leaves me in charge of marketing for the foreseeable future. But for the first couple of weeks of Hannah's maternity, I can't lie, I've been slacking and I haven't been able to keep on top of that. And marketing is so important. Without marketing, the river of leads, the river of work just doesn't flow, and eventually it will cause problems, and that sucks. So my priority is that. And last week I actually thought I want to put a bit more effort into content and marketing. And part of that is obviously this vlog too. So this week I'm trialing. I'm going to see how it works. I'm essentially splitting my days in half. Or split my week in half really. So every morning is going to be focused on marketing and content. So that's posting on socials, that's editing the vlog, editing content from old vlogs, from old videos to make short pieces for socials. Even going to try and make some Reels / TikTok kind of content. I mean, to be honest, I'm not sure if TikTok's the right thing for us, but Reels on Instagram is definitely somewhere where I feel like we should go. And ultimately, I feel like if we're making stuff for Instagram Reels, we could repurpose that for TikTok and just see if TikTok's worth it. I don't know. I feel like, personally, I might be wrong. Marketing people might hate me for this, but I do feel like TikTok is really strong for e-commerce brands and things like that. But for us as a service-based business, I don't know. I don't know. I'm yet to be proved wrong, but we also haven't tried, so willing to give it a go. But basically, yeah, I'm splitting my week / days in half so that the mornings are focused on content and then the afternoons are focused on my actual job, which is managing director, running the business. I'm hoping this will go well. Obviously, for me, this is a big old commitment, trying to essentially chop my time in half, and my time is already always hammered with just so much to do, especially when we get loads of inquiries coming in and I need to respond to quotes. Ultimately that takes priority over everything. But yeah, I'm going to give it a go. Wish me luck. I'm excited for it. Anyway, enough waffling. Let's get into this week. I need to get my kickoff plan prepped, and then when the chaps arrive, we can go ahead and kick things off.
Welcome to Tuesday. As you've just seen, the chaps have just left for their shoot of the day. And let's go and see what they get up to. Sam and Darren are back at it again, working on our project that we started last week. If you remember back to that episode, we were filming a bunch of documentary-styled case study content for one of our clients. You can see the chaps here are setting up for their interviews. They're using a variety of different lighting, which for the most part is a large soft key light, a little bit of negative fill, and then a nice hair light in the background. After the interview, it's all about B-roll, where we use a handheld and gimbal setup to get variety of shots for the edit. Cracking on with our day back at HQ. It's nice and quiet today in the office because it's just me and Max, but we are nevertheless smashing through things. I have been doing tons of admin this morning. Like, we've had a few jobs come in that I've needed to sort of schedule and juggle things. Some that are like needed like yesterday, and some that are in like a couple weeks time, which is a bit easier for me to, there's less juggling, it's more just booking, which is nice. But I've also just had a rather interesting call with a prospect. This prospect I spoke with about a month ago, and we did a discovery call, then I did the quote. And then this call was to review that quote. And on the call, rather interestingly, it didn't go like how I anticipated at all. Not in a bad way. It actually ended up being quite positive for us. So we quoted for a one-off job, just a bit of content for their website. But after they've seen the proposal, they've now decided to shift things a little bit. Not drastically, but they're now saying that they would like to look at doing a monthly content package, which is obviously like awesome for us. Obviously retained work is always better than one-off work. So I've now got to put together, we obviously went through a bit of like what they're looking for, and for your reference, they're looking for like 2 pieces of content a week. And yeah, kind of like the sort of stuff that you'd see on like TikTok, Instagram Reels, those things. So like very quick and easy content that's rapid and easy to kind of like create and post. For that, it's probably just like a 1-day shoot every month, and then you just do a couple, like 2 to 3 or 4 days editing, depending on what it is you're making. But for us, this is a really cool opportunity because it means regular work with a client that's in a really cool industry, actually. So yeah, my job now is to put together a bit of like a retainer package deal this week. And then next week, we've got another call booked to review that and see if it's something that they want to go ahead with. That's pretty cool. The work that I originally quoted is still a potential because they still want and need that. They were just keen to see if they locked into a 12-month agreement or a longer term agreement, if the price of the one-off project would go down at all based on the fact that there's regular work. Oh my God, the camera nearly fell over. That was lightning reflexes, by the way. I need to check myself for check my spidey senses real quick.
Go web, fly, go, go, go web, go.
Damn, sorry, just for your reference, I have the camera propped up on top of a speaker, so yeah, it's a little bit bodge. Yeah, so where was I? I've lost my train of thought completely now. Yeah, so I don't know where I stand on this in terms of like, when someone's working with you regularly, should you be discounting other work outside of the retainer scope? Like, my view on it is, and this is what we've done with other clients in the past that have been on retainers with us, is work outside of the retainer scope is at a slight discounted rate, but it is just that, it's a slight discount. It's not going to be like half price all of a sudden, because then, well, if it was half price, it'd be pointless. We would be like not even working at cost, you know? So fingers crossed they do, because ultimately, from my point of view, I'm now having to create 2 proposals, not 1. So if this doesn't pull through, it's a lot of time wasted, which is a shame. But the game's the game, and we move on. For the rest of the day now, I'm literally just going to be doing some socials and marketing, which is really good. The post I posted on LinkedIn yesterday and Instagram went pretty well. It was a cool post. It was actually it was like the first post that we've done that relates to the short film project that we've been working on for the last few weeks. So yeah, nice to post something about that, and then hopefully soon we can post like a proper bit of behind the scenes with some context, because I'm still, even now when talking to you, having to keep it hush-hush as to what it actually is. Anyway, let's get into the rest of this afternoon and carry on with our tasks. The base riser might need extending a tiny bit, not towards the back end, towards the front end.
This unsettling bass tone comes up, like just sits, and then it's like vroom, like that. Like it just comes up a bit, and then does the
fucking
end.
skyrockets.
So that's what I just did. So if you pull up
Put the other one.
3.9,
I think that's better.
I feel like that's better as well.
Music's
I brought back, yeah, the music's gone. I brought back some of the just the like feet noises and stuff for the very end of it, and then after the cut, I ducked all the ambient noise and then I brought it back up. So
That's quite nice.
I feel like that works better.
Yeah. Alright, cool. That was quite a good experiment actually.
So, as you've just seen, me and Max have just spent some time in my office reviewing the short film project that we've been working over the last few weeks. And I'm pleased to say, I think it is like done. It's not 100% done, and that's just because we're waiting for a few things from the client to put in it, mostly around like messaging and like a graphic to go at the end. But outside of that, our side being editing, shooting, color grading, sound design, I think is done. We've just watched it on a big screen. We've played it out of different speakers like the TV speakers, laptop speakers, phone speakers, headphones, like our editing speakers, and it all sounds really good, which is positive. I highly recommend that you guys do that, by the way. If you ever do a project, to be fair, it doesn't really matter. As long as there's a project where there's some sort of like sound elements to it that's not just a music track, like an interview or you've done some form of sound design, I thoroughly recommend using like multiple sources of audio to listen to it in. So like, don't just edit in your headphones and leave it there. Try it on some speakers, try it on a TV, try it on a laptop or a phone, because it can literally like change the game. It can like, all of a sudden you'll realize that, for example, with us, within this edit, there is a moment where there's like a very bassy sound that rises up to a moment where there's like a hard transition. When we tested it through the TV, we realized that that bass frequency is so low, like it's all about like low end bass, that TV speakers can't produce that frequency of sound. So we needed to complement it with something that was in more of like the mid to high range where a TV can recreate that. And the same goes for a phone. The phone can't produce that level of bass. So what we've done is added in that sound. That means now that those platforms can now experience it and still hear something. And if someone does happen to have good speakers or good headphones, they'll be able to hear the full range of stuff, which is really cool. Anyway, as you've seen, or as you can tell, I'm down in the kit room. No particular reason why, actually. I just fancied coming down here to do a vlog piece because it breaks up the scenery. A little bit empty at the minute. As you can see, there's a few gaps on the shelves because the chaps are on shoot. The place is looking cool and it's looking very organised with all of our lovely little labels and things. Anyway, enough jibber jabber. I've got some more work to do. Welcome to Thursday. This morning I am running super late, but I must say, it's a beautiful morning, which is really nice. Yeah, last night, unfortunately, spent the whole evening into the early hours in A&E. Not for me, for my partner. She's doing all right now. She's all good. We're just waiting for some results and things like that. But yeah, that one was obviously not planned, and yeah, sent the sleeping pattern off a bit. So this morning I did oversleep, and yeah, I kind of knew that was coming. Like when I went to bed, I was like, there's no way I'm getting up at like 5 or 6 a.m. But let's see what happens when the alarm goes off. And obviously it was a war with the alarm this morning. Just snooze, 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 snooze. What's most important is that Abby, my partner, is all good and okay. And yeah, we just need to wait for some results, stuff like that. Anyway, recapping on yesterday, obviously I didn't vlog yesterday. Yesterday was just like pretty full on. The chaps were back in the office after being on shoot, and we had some rather large deadlines to hit within yesterday, which was just tricky, to be honest. We did it, you know, pats on the backs and all that good stuff. But yeah, all of my focus and the team's focus was just on that, so didn't really get a lot of time to film. But today's a little bit more chill. It's actually like this week is just so quiet and chill in the office. It's mad. Like obviously Monday was just me, Max and Sam. Tuesday was just me and Max. Yesterday was me, Max, Sam, Darren. So the most busiest day. And then now Darren's on annual leave today and tomorrow, so it's just me, Max and Sam again. So it's like super quiet office. The chaps are just smashing through edits again, like some really big deadlines to hit this week. When I was booking this week out and doing juggling with like the calendars earlier this week, I was really struggling to squeeze it all in because we are a man down. We've got Ben on paternity leave, so trying to juggle that is nuts. And then we had a request come in last minute on Monday that we needed to turn around this week as well, so it's all just like very full on. And myself, I have a couple meetings, I have like 3 quotes to make, and the one thing that I bloody want to do, and I put a good bit of time in yesterday, is getting this new business ready to go. I think it's there. I was testing the whole website last night and the functionality of the back end, and I think it's good, but there was like a couple small things that I noticed I needed to tweak. Mostly like simple things like images on the website. I just wanted a different image here or there or whatever. Today I'm hoping to go through that and, you know, make sure that it is 100% in a place where I'm happy for it to go live, and then I'm just going to plan the launch. That's the day. Nothing too crazy. Let's get to the office and let's get some caffeine in the veins. Well, that didn't last long. I'm now heading home because Abby, my partner, has been called back into the hospital and she doesn't know how long she'll be there, so I need to go home to look after the dogs. The good news is everything I'm doing today can be done from home, and I have everything set up at home so I can do that. The bad news is I've obviously wasted like an hour of travel time, so it is what it is. I'm gonna head home and I have to get home quick because I have a call in about 45 minutes. So I need to get home and make sure I've prepped for that call and then do the call. All right, we're coming towards the end of our Thursday afternoon here. Not a bad day working from home. It's given me some sort of like place to like tunnel vision myself into my tasks, and it's actually been all right because I've got through a large amount of them, which is sick. I have produced today 4 new quotes. I'm actually like relatively excited about these ones. They're all retainer based, which is amazing. We quote, the majority of our quotes are like one-off projects, and it's nice whenever you get a client or a business that's looking for more regular stuff. Usually it's like smaller stuff, so the one-off projects are like bigger projects, or they're... Doorbell's going, 2 seconds. Just as I was saying about having a space to like tunnel vision and no distractions, that happens, so that's funny. Anyway, where was I? Retainers. So yeah, more often than not, retainers that come in are like for those that want regular content, but the nature of that content is generally smaller. So it might be, let's call it like 2 pieces of content per week, but they're like smaller TikTok, Instagram type of content. Whereas the one-off projects are more like events or case studies or something where there's a reason why it's only one time, if you know what I mean. But it's nice. It's nice that we've had just a little spree of potential retainers coming in, which is really, really cool. But before I sign off for today, I actually wanted to reach out to you guys. What I've enjoyed in the past while making these videos is when I've had a question in the comments or something that you guys want to learn more about or are curious to hear my opinion on. And just as of late, we haven't had many of those in the comments. So I wanted to ask you guys, leave a comment below. Let me know what you want to see in these vlogs. Let me know what you want me to talk about. Is there something that maybe I can provide some sort of insight into, whether you want to learn about how we do things at Menace, why I've made a decision to go down this road instead of that road, or just, I don't know, general advice about starting a business. I'm not going to say I'm like some crazy business guru that's made it and done all these things. Like, no, definitely not. I'm early on in my journey, and you guys can see that through this vlog. You know, I'm not some multi-millionaire guru that's just like, you know, trying to sell a course. I'm just trying to give you guys my honest opinion and guidance based on my experiences in my little corner of the world. But yeah, leave a comment below. Let me know what you want to hear about. I'd love to talk about it in a future episode. Oh my days. Whoa!
Drop. Yes.